keep. And so when they see the bill, they're sticker shocked at that price, but they don't see the back end of actually what entails to get to that price.
It's a constant flow of money that has to come in and has to go out to pay all the bills, all the subscriptions, all of the tool bills. And we're not just talking like hand tools or impact. We're talking.
What do you think? Should we introduce ourselves
Yeah.
or should we just hop right into?
No, I think we should introduce ourselves, right?
Well, what's your introduction?
Hi, I'm Dan from Sager and Sons Automotive, and this is my wife.
Katie. Hi, Katie. So new to the business. He's your expert, but I'm the fun one.
Yeah, she's fun.
Super fun. So I think one of the things we're here talking to you guys is we wanted to start a podcast to kind of give you guys a behind the scenes of what it's like to run a family business, what it's like to run an automotive business, and just the dynamics of it. Because we were on, where did we go last week? We went to a group mastermind, and we learned that we're kind of different in that a lot of owners are husband-wife owners, but a lot of them don't really have their kids working in the shop like we do. So that's a sort of different dynamic as far as running a true family business where it's just husband and wife.
Yeah, and there was, like Alvin, and there was a few others that were super excited that were making it work, and that gave them some inspiration that it could work.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of who we are as a dynamic. It's husband-wife team. I stayed out of it as far as I could until he needed me in there. So I'm here to help. And the kids are part of it. We have 5 kids together.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them are in the shop full-time. And then we have a part-timer who's only 14. The youngest is 14, so he's our broom pusher. And then the other 2 have been a part of the business, but they have gone out on their own, which is better for us and them. So there's dynamics there for sure, huh?
Yeah, I'd say, and I don't ever anticipate them staying gone forever, because the oldest one is, we've talked about, but we butt heads too much. And I would rather be his friend,
Yeah.
And then the daughter, she's a lot like her mom, and she's still learning, right?
Mom's not learning.
Right.
Mom knows.
Yeah, mom knows everything. Just like her daughter thought she knew everything.
Duh. So that's who we are.
But also, I would like to say that, another reason for doing the podcast is to get us out there and let everybody feel like they're really getting to know us, and the family aspect of it. We do it because I love fixing cars, and it's always, when I was younger, it was always for free, and it can't be that way anymore because we have to create funding to keep people,
we have to feed all 5 kids.
Yeah, homes furnished and things like that. But I do it for I did it. I started it because of the love of it, and she's helping guide me to create a successful business that we turn it into a legacy. That's my
teenagers eat a bunch of cereal, and cereal's not cheap anymore.
Yeah, no. And I would like to pay them better and create, so they can retire and we could retire, So right now it's just, we're learning everything.
The first episode, the theme, and I have themes for the episode, so I've got my little notes here, fancy pantsy data. The theme for episode 1 is the unseen weight of running a family business. Yeah, the heavy. Let's start heavy. Like you just said, I like sicko psycho things. According to him, he does. But crew time, it's trends.
Yeah.
So, what's the unseen weight of running a family business? That's the theme we're going to go here on this one. And let's start off with, what do you think people assume from the outside? What do you think they think the business is, running it as a family business? And these are all going to be assumptions, right? Based on our own perceptions, because we truly don't know what they're thinking.
Right. When I was younger, my dad ran a business. I would always look from the outside in, and I would watch. I knew a couple other family businesses. One was an automotive repair shop, and the owner's name was Dave. And I was young, and I loved the shop, right? And I loved guys there. Tangway.
Oh yeah, I remember
Yep.
that one on Highway 78.
Yep. And
Yeah.
and I loved that shop. And we were a towing automotive repair shop, but more into towing my dad did, right? I just worked on all of his rigs. But from the outside in, you don't see now being where I'm at, it's a constant flow of money that has to come in and has to go out to pay all the bills, all the subscriptions, all of the tool bills. And we're not just talking like hand tools or impact. We're talking, the vehicles are so complex. Like, and I've stayed up to date with like Ford and GM. I'm that level of, electronics in the shop because it's needed to do it properly, and I don't want to not do a repair a proper way. So
Do you think that from looking from the outside in, like a modern consumer, a vehicle owner right now, doesn't, because we go, I mean, just think back, not even 10, 15 years ago, we didn't get all these fancy schmancy things in our vehicles, right? So they assume that we can just hop in the car, drive it in, and lift it up on our rack and say, like, this is broken, we can fix it for this amount of time. But they don't see all the electronics and the scanners and the technology that goes behind what you have to upkeep. And so when they see the bill, they're sticker shocked at that price, but they don't see the back end of actually what entails to get to that price.
right, yeah, no, because I mean, just there's certain scanners you need just to do a brake job now, right? You have to put it in a brake access mode to where you can actually replace the brake pads. I mean, I have my Top Don, my Zeus, their yearly subscriptions. I have my Ford, my GM. I have to pay yearly for those. Just in subscriptions without the scan tools, it's about $6,000 a year right there. $6,000 to $8,000 depending on what I'm trying to do, and then the scanners have to be updated.
Yeah.
So it's just on and on and on, and
So people whining about all the subscriptions, like I remember when we moved from like the cable, and you had to add on all the extra channels, and everybody hated adding on
Yeah.
those extra channels, and
Yeah.
now we're back into that.
Yeah.
We've just moved it from a
Yeah.
cable to a streaming.
Yep.
So now everybody's
Well, it's
like,
it's like the subscriptions on your iPhone or whatever, right? I don't know what Google is because we're so far embedded in Apple. Me and you, the ecosystem. I didn't realize how deep I was embedded into the ecosystem. And it's like you go to transfer, like, oh my God, I got so much. And I know it can be done, but I'm not going there. But I'm just saying, it's like you got like 10 subscriptions. Like, oh, I use that app. No, I don't want to delete that right now. Or you delete it and then you have to go re-download it later or pay for the subscription again. And then you forget it. But
yeah, but it's something you need in a business that
Yeah.
most people from the outside in don't assume. And I'm using the word assume because maybe there's a modern customer out there that understands the back end of the expenses and they understand how crazy it can be to
Yeah.
run an automotive repair shop.
yeah,
But what about working with the family dynamics? Like, I mean, even that like running the shop with the kids.
yeah,
I mean, there's a reason why two of them don't work with us anymore, you
Yeah.
know, and it's one of them still isn't talking with us. And hopefully, one day she'll see that we didn't let her go because she was wrong or bad or anything, but
No.
it was because we see better for her and we wanted better for her.
for her to experience what she needs to experience.
Yeah.
I was just telling Alec that if I were to do all of the repairs that I had him do the last 8 years and just said, here, watch me, where would you be? He says, I wouldn't know anything. I says, you have to go over there and learn for yourself or else you'll never learn. And unfortunately, my dad had to do the same for me. So he would have never, and he was like, yeah, 100%. And then Austin, the oldest one, he's 30 and he came to me, he says, my hat's off to you. So he understands, right?
Yeah. And when their frontal lobe,
Yeah. Yeah.
when that becomes a thing and they start learning and understanding, or even when they even start having their own families, I think that's where it really truly begins because
Yeah.
the older two have their own kids now, right?
Yep.
And they're starting to understand what it's like to be a parent,
Right.
just a parent, and not even a boss or a business owner or trying to create a legacy for them to have,
Yeah.
you know, which is what your entire goal was. You wanted to create something for the kids,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I guess working in the shops, growing up in the, late 90s and early 2000s, and then up to 2010, 11, 12, like, I was teaching them in the garage, but I was like, man, I'm teaching all these guys, and all the guys were like, oh man, we're so grateful for you coming in the shop and helping us. And I'm like, man, like a library is being lost if I can't give this to them. And it's like, it's not like, if you think about that, like, okay, great. You guys have something you're going to do great in life. You're going to go do this or that. And you have your own path, career path you're going to take. But if not, I have something that will provide very well for you. Right. And that's all I wanted to give them. But I guess I felt like all of that was being lost by not having my own shop and being able to work with them. So
Yeah. Well, and I remember way back when you wanted the own shop, right? But I was the one that was hesitant
yeah,
to like let you branch out on your own because I wanted the stability of a career and a 9 to 5.
yeah,
But what I didn't realize was that there could be more.
so much.
Yeah. If you built your own. But there's also days behind all of that to where, yes, that's a true like desire to want and have.
Yeah,
But then it also creates more stress because now everything is on you. You're not just an employee showing up and clocking in and out,
right.
So there's that dynamic too. And now you're responsible for the family that's still at home, but now also the family outside, like with Alec, right? Now you're responsible
Yeah.
for Alec and Carissa and Ramona and Bo and,
Yeah,
everybody there. So you have all that family that you have to make sure that shows up for them. And that's a
Yeah.
heavy weight to bear. Yeah.
yeah. And we had a few other families under our belt that we were helping, but they kind of migrated off, and Jacob does his own thing. But we'll have Gage and
Hopefully, Emily.
Emily. Yeah, Emily. Right.
Hopefully
So,
they're high school sweethearts forever like we were.
yeah. But I would say the highs are better than the lows, and that if I could just remember to not take things so seriously. But I guess, again, if you don't take things to heart and let it flow through you and learn how to work like that, then you won't be, my old employer, Mick Alley, downtown Big Got Tires. I learned a lot from him, and he was just on it everywhere he went. And then, a couple of years ago, 20 years have passed, and I asked him, how'd you do it? He says, it was hard. So it wasn't easy, but it was hard, but it was worth it. And he's thankful to be retired now, but he's like I said, if I could just learn how to let it flow through me and not take everything to heart and so personally, that nobody's getting out alive, right? So
No.
do
So
our best.
what do you think? What do you think we, as husband, wife, mother, father pair for the kids, what do you think we're still figuring out for them inside the shop,
Still figuring out for the boys.
or just in general of the business of all of it? I mean, again, circling back to what do you think outside people, customers, clients think we have it all
Training.
together?
Training, procedures, right? Like, I know the procedures in my head, and you're like, but we need to take that out of your head and put it on paper for them. I'm like, that's a great idea. Show me how to do that, right? So
There's AI.
yeah, I know that, and that is very helpful too.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of time where AI will
Oh my gosh.
lead you astray, and
I
you're
know.
like,
It's a love-hate relationship. It really
Yeah.
is. ChatGPT is. I have lots of words for that one.
like you and I both helping Gage at the front counter, right? Gage is 17, and he's wrenched since he was 12 now. He's ASC certified, but now we're going to put him at the front counter, and he's timid and he's scared. And I think that I know a lot of people that see the family dynamic love that, but there's a lot that are like, oh, yeah, I'd rather have a professional that I know my car's being worked on, right? And I see that point of view too. So I want to help them both ways, but I also, like you said, we got to let them learn, right? So,
Totally have to let them learn and to rebuttal on that one because, you know, I mean, that was one of your viral TikToks. If people want to scroll through your millions of TikToks
yeah,
where, you know, they had the kid was working in the shop. But my rebuttal to that is like, wouldn't you rather have a 25-year-old tech who has 15 years of experience versus a 25-year-old tech who's fresh out of CWI with only theory and book knowledge?
yeah,
You know, there's no hands-on. Age to me,
yeah,
if there, it's more of the experience than it is the age. Yes, age plays a matter because back again to the whole frontal lobe thing. But I mean, I would rather have a surgeon who has the decades of experience operate on me versus somebody fresh out of school.
right. Well,
You
it's
know?
like there's younger kids engaged. Definitely is that anomaly, right?
Yeah,
Where
he's so mature.
he is like Doogie Howser, right? That is him. By
Mm-hmm.
the time 17 now, and that's his fourth or fifth LS swap installed, tuned, and I mean he did everything like 90% of it when he was 12. He did his first one with a lot of my guidance. Second and third one he helped me with, and then the S10 that he drag raced, you know, that was all him. Like he installed, put together the Turbo Hydro 400 with a manual valve body. I mean, he did all of that, right?
Yeah.
And then built it and then had the whole truck apart and put it all back together and he went and drag raced it. He did it all himself.
Yeah. So you think the big outside assumption from people is that he's a kid and he doesn't know and understand and he can't help him with the car?
Yeah, no, and I,
Yeah.
you know, I'd say to that he's probably got more experience than, you know,
He's trying to
Some-
quote everybody.
a 30-year-old, right?
Yeah. I know.
Technician.
Listening to his phone calls, I'm listening to him trying to diagnose the cars over the phone and give them. He's so trying to be helpful.
I know.
He wants to be so helpful to the people who are calling in.
Right.
And I'm like, you can't do that, dude. You
We
can't
just
do
need to
that.
get the
I
car
know.
and get it looked at.
Yeah.
No
I
speculation.
know you want to be helpful, but that could totally be wrong. And you might be saying something totally off base of like, it might be this, but it's really this. And, you know,
Yeah.
so
Right.
yeah. Do you have any comments for the people outside looking in?
No, I mean, you know, we're a family-owned business and we truly care about your safety, everyone's safety, and we're just trying to make a living doing it.
Yeah.
You know, trying to, you know, like the big corporations or anybody who's killing it out there. That, you know, we'd like to get to a decent spot in life to where, you know, we can actually retire.
I just want to say we're human, just like
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, we're just human, right? So
Yeah.
right now, there's
But
no.
I think what sets us apart from, at least for me and my perspective, my own values, is I own my mistakes and I try to make it better. Right?
Yeah. You know, Dave from Dave's Auto Center out there in Utah, he says anything he does, he likes to make it better, and that's how I've always been, right? That's how the great technicians are, right? We see a problem, we take care of it, and we don't want it to happen again.
Yeah.
So we always try to make it better. And if we make a mistake, you know,
Crap.
yeah, we make up for it, right?
Yeah. Or we try.
We try our best. Yep.
Yeah. You know?
Some people won't allow it, right? But
Yeah.
for the most part, if they have a good heart, they're like, oh, we understand,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Awesome. That wraps episode 1.